Namaste, I'm Archana Pammi. Welcome back to my channel. This is the week 4 how to series sequence of Yin Yoga asanas. So I introduced 5 in style asanas and I'm going to be assembling them into a sequence. Now, in style of asanas are generally a deep stretch and at the same time they offer deep relaxation. So you can do this any time of the day. Just ensure that you've not had a heavy meal, and if you have had a meal, give it at least a couple of hours before you do this. I prefer to do this early in the morning and also in the evening, even before going to sleep in the bed. So find what works best for you and do it. So we will be doing each of the asanas, and like I mentioned in the individual videos, all in yoga poses are held for a minimum of 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So I will be cueing accordingly. The only thing that you'll have to do while you are in those asanas is just continue to focus on your breathing, inhale and exhale, and just relax and surrender yourself to the mat and let gravity take you further and deepen the stretch. You don't have to fight and work towards deepening the stretch at all. So let's get started. Starting with caterpillar pose, or a variation of Paschimottanasana. So sit along the long side of the mat, legs in front of you stretched out. If you have sciatica or deep back pain, lower back pain, then avoid the forward bend. You can simply keep the legs stretched out, palms behind you, and lengthen your back and sit here and just keep breathing. But if you don't have lower back pain like sciatica or anything else, then you can go ahead and approach the forward bend. So use your palms to crawl forward, and once you feel like you can't go beyond this, you feel tension in the lower back or the upper hip, then you stay there and gently relax the head. It's absolutely fine to arch the back in its normal sense. You don't have to keep it very straight or anything. Just let it arch naturally. Just don't force yourself too much to go into the bend. I know the final goal is to get the head towards the knee or towards the legs, but it's okay, absolutely fine even here. So once you find what works comfortable for you, you may use a prop or bolster as well, and just stay here and breathe. I like to close my eyes and just keep breathing and relaxing my lower back and feeling the burn near my navel. Just keep breathing, inhale and exhale for a minute or two. It's been roughly a minute and a half. You should naturally see that your body has inched a little bit further from where you started. Even if it doesn't, it's okay. Just stay there and continue breathing. Don't force yourself to move ahead. Now gently release from this pose. Do not abruptly get up because you are in the deep forward bend. Slowly use your palms and walk back. As you walk back with your palms, inch by inch lift your back up. Now one thing that I like to do is to just place my palms behind and just lengthen the back to come out of that deep forward bend. Moving on to the next pose, which is square pose or Agni Stambhasana, which is fire log pose again, doing it in style. If you have any, again sciatica, do not approach the forward bend. All you can do is place the right knee over the left ankle, the right ankle over the left knee. Just place your palms behind you and just lift up your back, lengthening it, and stay seated in this pose itself. Otherwise, if you don't have any back pain, lower back pain, then do approach the forward bend. Like we did with the previous pose, just crawl forward, take your hands as far as they can go, and then relax and lower down your head, relaxing the neck and the shoulder. No tension, no pressure. If your head reaches the mat, perfect. If it doesn't, it's absolutely fine. You can stay here as is. If it feels uncomfortable, place a bolster or a block and support the head. Now, like with all in poses, we're going to be here for about a minute and a half or more. I will be doing it a little bit longer. If you feel this is intense, you can always back out. Get out of the pose and then come back in again, making it like 1 or 2 rounds. Otherwise, you can simply pause, skip to the next asana, and then continue. A gentle reminder to curl the toes inwards towards the legs. It helps relax the muscles and fold further. Roughly 2 minutes up, staying here a little bit longer. Keep breathing, inhale and exhale. Now slowly releasing from the pose. Again, walk your palms back, and as you walk your palms back, releasing vertebrae by vertebrae and straightening your back. Again, like I did with the previous, place the palms behind you and just lengthen the back, the lower back, and release. Switching to the other side. Now stack the left leg on top of the right, such that the feet are exactly in line with the knee. And once you are in the position, walk your palms forward and bending from the hip. Relax your head and your neck. Don't force the forward bend. keep the toes curling inwards. And breathe. Inhale and exhale and relax. It's kind of absolutely normal if you're having a lot of thoughts. It's because you're going to be staying in this pose for a long time and not doing anything as such. It's quite natural for the mind to waver, thinking about things that you need to do, not even thinking about why am I doing this for such a long time if you're practicing yin yoga for the first time. It's absolutely fine. Let those thoughts flow. Just say okay and continue. Don't dwell on them, don't act on them. Just acknowledge them and let them be. And the best way to do that is to focus on your breathing. Inhale and exhale. A minute or two has passed. Just going to stay here for another minute. A gentle reminder to continue breathing. Inhale and exhale. Release any tension and calm down. Again, gently releasing from the pose. Slowly walk back your palms inch by inch and use that to support your back. As you straighten and lengthen, place them behind and lengthen the back and release. You'd have seen that this is also a very good hip opener. So one of the hip opens outwards, the one which is stacked up, so you will feel a good stretch near your groin joining to the corresponding thigh. So a very good hip opener as well. So if you have tight hips and everything, you can do that. The next set of asanas are going to be done lying down on our back. So let's lie down. So lie down on your back comfortably. Then bend your knees and place the feet on the mat. We are going to be doing a one-legged knee to chest pose. So we will be bringing one knee at a time to the chest and stretching. So starting with the right knee. So as you inhale, lift the knee up, and as you exhale, bend the knee towards your chest. You can point your toes or you can keep them flexed, whichever works best for you. Flexing them relaxes the muscle, helps deeper in the stretch. Pointing avoids a lot of movement, it just stays. That works for me. And if you are comfortable, then explore extending the left leg flat on the mat, all the while ensuring that you're not lifting off your back is not arching, especially your lower back has to remain flat on the mat. Now you can use a strap to wrap around the shin of the right leg to hold it in place if it is very uncomfortable, and you can always keep the left leg bent so that your back is not getting stretched and feeling pain. Stay here for a minute and a half like we do with all the poses, and just keep breathing. I like to close my eyes if you would like to keep them open. Remember, just keep breathing, inhale and exhale. Feeling the pressure of the upper thigh of the right leg pressing into the abdomen. This is a wind relieving pose, so they always say that you should never hold back certain things which have to get out of the body. So if you feel like you're about to fart, just let it go, don't hold back. Slowly releasing from this pose, bring your left leg back and place the feet on the mat, and then release the right leg. And take a moment if you need here to relax. Otherwise, you can switch over to the other side by bringing the left knee to the chest. Inhale, lift the knee up. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest. And if you feel comfortable, extend the right leg. All the while ensuring your back, your lower back is on the mat and not lifting up. I'm feeling a little bit of stretch on the right side, so I'm going to keep my right leg bent here. And staying here for about a minute or two. Just keep breathing, inhale and exhale. And slowly releasing from this pose. If your other leg is stretched out, please bend the knee and bring it back. And then release the leg so that you don't end up overstretching near your groin or near the thigh and then ending up pulling something. So the next asana that we will be doing is the supine twist. Again, lying down on our back. We're going to start with the right side. So lift your hip and move it to the left hand side and drop both your knees, stacking them on top of each other on the right hand side. Arms by your shoulder. You can bend the elbows and have them perpendicular to the shoulder. Palms facing up. You can look straight, or if you'd like to go deeper in this stretch and also bring about a twist in the upper part of the spine, then you can look towards the opposite side. So if your legs are towards the right, then you look towards the left hand side. I'm more comfortable keeping it straight. I will continue to keep this way. Keep breathing. Again, feel free to use a cushion between your knees or below your knees if they are floating away from the floor, if you're feeling any sort of tension in the lower back. Also ensure that both your shoulders are on the mat and they're not lifting off in an attempt to do this twist. Staying here for a minute or two, continue breathing, keeping your eyes closed or open. Slowly unwinding, you may use your palms to even support the knees and bring them to center. Center your hips. Now moving to the other side. So now lift your hips and move them to the right side and drop your knees to the left hand side and your hands by your shoulders in cactus position. If you would like to, you can look the other side if you'd like to twist on the upper side of the spine as well. I like to relax it here. I don't want to work it too much, so I'm going to keep it as is. Staying here for a minute or two, just focus on your breathing. Inhale and exhale. Gently releasing from the pose. Again, inhale and lift the legs up using your palm and supporting the knees if required. Now you would have noticed that all poses that we are doing, which have both the right side and the left hand side, pretty much do the same time. So please ensure that even if you're doing it for a minute, you do both the right and the left for a minute equal, so that you keep both the sides in balance. Don't overwork one side and do not deprive the other side. Moving on, the last pose before we wind down with Shavasana is the Happy Baby pose or Ananda Balasana. So for this, again, if you find it very difficult to hold, it's absolutely fine. So just inhale, lift the knees off the mat, feet off the mat, bring the knees towards the chest and just let it stay as is, the soles of the feet facing up the ceiling or the sky in case of outdoors. If possible, then do the 3-finger grip and hold the big toes. If it's not, it's absolutely fine. Now you will feel a deep stretch in the lower back, and that's one of the benefits of this pose. It also relaxes and calms you down. Just not recommended for those having hernia or any other injuries, of course, and pregnancy. But apart from that, anybody can do this. It's a baby pose, happy baby pose. Just keep breathing, inhale and exhale as gently as possible, relaxing your entire body. Gently release the toes and bring the feet onto the mat, and that was happy baby pose. So we're gonna go into the final resting pose of Shavasana. And we saw that most of the poses that we did, we held them for about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Feel free to extend this up to 5 minutes with practice. You can always take a break, release, and then again go back into the asana and then hold. The longer you hold, the more better. Unlike other practices, other asana practices, because you're holding it for a short time, you're only working the muscles. But in yoga, when you hold it for such a long time, it's almost like facilitated or a static stretching, which also works the ligaments and the tendons that join the muscle to the bone. So it lubricates them and makes it even more easy for those joints to move, and also helps in more flexibility. So do hold these poses for as long as possible, and don't think that by just holding it for 30 seconds but you're forcing yourself into the pose, you're going to make any difference. No, slow and calmly hold as long as possible for the maximum benefits. The final resting pose, Shavasana. Legs hip apart, feet flopping to the side, arms by your body. Extend your legs, hip width apart, feet flopping to the side, arms by your body, palms facing up, fingers naturally curled, shoulders away from your head, chin lightly tucked in so the back of your neck is straight. And just keep breathing. Deep abdominal breaths. Inhale, let the abdomen rise, and exhale, let the abdomen fall. Just continue to breathe in this manner, utilizing most the full capacity of the lungs. It helps you relax even further and calm your body. Gently releasing from the pose. Slowly move your toes, ankle, and legs, fingers, wrist, and your arms, neck, and your head side to side. Slowly unwinding, bend your knees, roll to the right side. Staying here for a moment. Place your left palm on the mat and use that as support to lift up and sit up. So that was the yin sequence that covered all the asanas that I introduced in this week 4 series of how to do yin yoga. So we started with the caterpillar pose, the square pose, and then the knee to chest and the supine twist, happy baby pose, and then finally shavasana. These poses are generally tend to do deep stretch, like we did the intense back stretch, the lower back stretch, and compression on the digestion, compression on the abdominal organs, which actually leads to better digestion as well. So all these asanas should have ideally relaxed you and calmed you down. And if you don't feel anything, it's absolutely fine. Just it's okay that sometimes when you're starting, you don't really feel much of a difference. Excuse me. But over a period of time, you will see the significant difference it makes in the way your body feels. When I started off with yin yoga, I used to do only these 4 or 5 asanas every single day without fail, and over a period of time I realized the amount of flexibility that I had developed. I always attribute it to yin yoga, and it's my personal favorite. So I hope this made a little bit of a difference to you. If not, let me know your thoughts and your suggestions, if any. Namaste.